Greetings and welcome to Monster Legends, and another special feeding episode. This time I'm going to be feeding a fellow that I've wanted for a long time. Finally put him together from cells from various locations. And of course he showed up with open ruin slots. Wasn't that nice of the Scrap Warrior? Alright, he's a legendary, he's metal, he's got all kinds of tricky things, and we're going to find him a home. Hopefully he doesn't want to go. No, I'm sure you want to go there. Yes, I do. I'm sure that that's exactly where you'd like to go. However, we have a place for you with over here. Yeah, have fun with those guys. Okay, looks like he'd be great at parties. Alright, so look at him happy around. He's happy there. Okay, check him out. Maybe he wants to go for a ride on Cloud or something like that. Okay, so it's actually kind of a shame to raise him up because he's going to get so stoic and like... Yeah, he looks so happy, doesn't he? He does indeed. Okay, so anyway, this is Sanderson. No, this is not Sanderson. We'll come up with something. This is Scrap Warrior. He is a legendary. He is metal. He's hardened, so he's got a 20% chance of resisting negative status effects. Let's take a look at the stats. Okay, he's got a pretty good power. He's got a nice life. And his speed is not too far behind his power. Some good stats there. Some very, very good stats. Let's check out some skills. Okay, Scavenge. Deals low physical damage to one enemy. And Survive. Things you do in a wasteland. You scavenge and you survive. Survive deals low special damage to one enemy. And of course, that wonderful drag racy type of special skill. What a lovely day. Deals very heavy metal damage to all enemies, applies bleeding and total blind to all enemies. That's very nice. Let's face it, they don't want to see that coming anyway, right? No, they don't. The post-apocalyptic wastelands are ruled by Roxanne and Nexar Cox. Okay, that's out of date, by the way. The Baroness now rules it. Lately, their greed is out of control, and they are taxing everyone in their territory. Scrap Warrior has had enough. Outfitted with armor made of junk, he is ready to fight the Cox brothers and anyone who tries to take advantage of him. Uh-oh, look out. Look how cute he is. This is going to be one of the sadder feedings, isn't it? Because, I mean, look how cute he looks there. Okay, we better start doing it, though, because if he's going to take on the Cox brothers, he's going to need some levels. Well, first thing, we're going to get him to his first evolution level. Okay, there he is. Okay, he's not so cute anymore. And I'd call him a teenager, except he has a long white beard. That's, unless it's some kind of genetic mutation, you know, maybe it's like a nuclear wasteland or something like that. All right, let's get going because we want to see some skills. I know I do. Oh, let's go to level 7 and his first skill, Moonshine Shot. Applies mechanical hater to one ally. Okay, cooldown. Something for the future. Something for the future. I'm not sure what that has to do with moonshine, but you know, whatever. Let's continue. Okay, to level 10. And the next skill, Forking Throw. Deals moderate metal damage to one enemy. 50% chance of applying bleeding. Okay, scrap does cause bleeding when applied to a human being, you know? Just saying. So we'll take that. It's a 50%, but I'm sure that 50% will vanish in the future. Alright, let's continue to level 15. Another skill, and this is Junkyard Fun. Deals moderate special damage to one enemy. 50% chance of applying total blind to one enemy. Alright, we'll just throw that there because it's a bunch of junkyard fun. And that fun is more important than surviving. It is indeed. Alright, we get to level 20 now for another skill. Come on, give us the skills. Moonshine Bottle removes all negative status effects from itself. I'm guessing from himself. Applies mechanical hater and gives one extra turn to itself. Oh, that's interesting. That's very interesting. That's the kind of thing you keep. You know, that's the kind of thing you keep for a lot of different reasons. You know, because one, you're putting the mechanical hater on. Two, you're removing negative status effects, but it doesn't cost you anything in terms of turns. And if you've used all your attacks already, it'll reduce their cooldowns by 1. So, yeah, that's probably going to be a keeper all the way through the end there. That's actually better than Shork's. Shork gives himself Water Hater, and then an extra turn. This does 2 extra things that are kind of useful too. Oh, I should say 1 extra thing. It removes negative status effects. Alright, so that's pretty good. Let's go to 25. And his final form. Smokescreen. Deals heavy special damage to 1 enemy. Applies total blind to 1 enemy. Well, I guess that's an upgrade, so let's do that. That 50% is gone. And there he is! The Scrap Warrior. Remember how cute he used to look as a kid? Yeah, he's not cute anymore. No, he's not. So sad. Oh, I guess I hurt his feelings. Alright, I'll feed him. That'll get him back. Alright. Level 30. More skills needed. Knife throwing. Deals very heavy metal damage to 1 enemy. Applies bleeding to 1 enemy. Okay, was this bleeding? Oh, he doesn't have to do that anymore. So, he's going to make them bleed. Alright, let's continue to level 35. More skills required. More skills! Saber throwing. Deals moderate metal damage to all enemies. Applies bleeding to all enemies. That's good. That's good. That's good. That's good. That's good. That's very good. Undecided where I want to do with that, though. Because if my memory is right, he has something else coming. I could always move things around. I still have a little bit of time with that. At the time of recording, I can still move skills, right? But I think I'm going to count on something else coming. Or do I? Okay, you know what? For the moment, I'll put it here. I might be mistaken. I think there is something else coming. But, you know, that's not a bad thing to lead off with anyway, right? All right, let's continue to level 40. We should have like 2 more left, I'm thinking. I'm thinking 2 more left. Okay, homebrew nuclear device. Deals massive special damage to 1 enemy. That's a good question. Ooh, I don't know about that. Okay, well, hold on a minute. Let's just look at this for a second. Let's look at this for a second. If I was keeping this one, then they're going to be bleeding for 3 turns and it's got a 3-round cooldown, right? All right, if I assume that they're already bleeding, then I don't really need knife throwing anymore, right? I mean, I could put this in the spot. Yeah, I mean, the thing about it is if they resisted the bleeding, I mean, yeah, that's going to happen. Sometimes you have individuals who are immune to bleeding, right? They have that now. Another thing is if they're very resistant, but I mean, I might as well just take this one because of the extra damage involved, right? Yeah, I mean, I'm going to count on them bleeding already. I don't know if I have to make a change based on something coming, but we'll see. I'm figuring there's at least 1 more skill. You know, I could be wrong, but I do think there's probably just going to be 1 more. We might get a repeat here. Yeah, I figured we might see that one. I just hope that that doesn't hold back anything else. You know what I mean? Okay, level 50. Okay, massive stroke screen. Deals moderate special damage to all enemies. Applies total... So that's kind of what I was looking for. That's the total blind. Okay, so here's the thing. Obviously, I want that. I also obviously want the smoke screen, right? I want both of those. Oh, it comes down to, do I want that or do I want that? I mean, that's really what it comes down to. Do I want that or do I want that? Now think about it, this one's a 0 cooldown. Yeah, it's less damage, but if he gets zapped, reset of his cooldowns, then he's not going to be able to act for 3 turns, 2 turns, right? This one, he gets to come back and actually put a blind on somebody, you know? And at the moment, there is no cooldown on total blind in terms of like a resistance, you know? So it's not like, you know, recently blinded or something like that. They don't have that. So you can apply it every round, you know, to the same individual if you want to keep them blind. I would have to say that that's probably better than the big massive hit. I would have to say that. That's going to be bigger than the massive hit. The thing about it is, here's the thing. I want that in the first spot from my own thinking. Just the way I do things, I want to look at that first spot, and that's the one I'm going to do first. So I'm going to put it there. If I have to spend some money to get that one back immediately, I will. but I'm hoping it's going to pop up one of these 2 times. All right, so let's get going here. I'm pretty sure we've seen everything new. I don't think we've seen everything. Knife throwing, that's a single target one. I'm going to throw that there for the moment, because I don't have a bleeding at the moment, so let's throw that in there. You know what the problem is? I'm probably going to see the other one now. So I'll spend the 100K. I got like 7.5 billion, no big deal. Junkyard. Oh, wow, you went all the way back to that one. I did not expect that. Okay, well, you know what? I'm going to spend the money. Okay, level 60. I'm pretty sure we saw everything. Right, and we're going to swap that one with that one because it's a group bleeding attack, and group bleeding attacks are all kinds of awesome. All right, let's just verify here. I got the big smoke screen. I got the little one, which also has a 0 cooldown. I got the group bleeding attack, and as I said, I'm not parting with that one. That one's just too good because the thing about it is, like I mentioned, with the cooldowns. Well, this has a cooldown too. But if you're doing it in his normal rotation of attacks, that's going to be very useful. Really, it's going to be very useful right there. So I'm glad I got that one, and I'm going to keep that one too. So he's got enough tools for him that he doesn't need anything else. All right, so let's look at his final numbers up here. Okay, 2,200 on the power, not bad. Life, 11,000, is over normal. Speed, it's not bad. Considering his skills, it's not too bad at all. But, damage and other stuff is really his stuff, isn't it? Especially if he runs into mechanical individuals, right? If he runs into mechanical individuals, he's going to do a lot of damage. So let's just check out the final skills. These are the skills that I selected, but I kind of think I nailed it. Just saying. I'm sure there are going to be some people who might think, oh, you should have done this, you should have done this. But, I think I got it. I don't think there's going to be any argument regarding 3 of them. I don't think so. Anyway, let's look at the first one. No argument regarding this one. Massive smokescreen. Deals moderate special damage to all enemies. Applies total blind to all enemies. Okay, you're totally blind. You're going to miss. You're going to miss. Unless, of course, as I understand it, the individual has guard down. Guard down apparently trumps everything else from what I hear. So, but otherwise, total blind. Even specials by Titans. Although, I would think if they do another Titan invasion, they're probably going to fix that. Because, yeah, total blind. Very, very deadly with that. All right, and then we have this one. Smokescreen. Deals heavy special damage to one enemy. Applies total blind to one enemy. This might be the Meredith's contention here, but I think I made the right choice. Now, there is a massive metal attack that I could have picked. Here's the thing. Having extra total blind is not a bad thing, especially considering, as I said, there is no current immunity to this. Except, of course, if you're immune to blindness. If you're immune to blindness, you're immune to total blindness, too. But I'm just thinking if you apply it, there's no temporary immunity like freezing and stun, right? So you can apply that to the same guy every round to keep him totally blind, assuming you don't miss and he doesn't resist it, right? Another thing about it is it's a 0 cooldown attack. So it also has that to it as well. So a lot more and more individuals these days are able to reset cooldowns. So he does that. He can do this one and he can blind somebody. So that's always useful. Next we have this. Saber throwing. Deals moderate metal damage to all enemies. Applies bleeding to all enemies. So this is another group attack. It's metal and it does bleeding. Bleeding is a very good dot. So he can really hurt somebody with that. Especially if they're mechanical. If he does, Moonshine Bottle. Removes all negative status effects from itself. Applies Mechanical Hater and gives extra turn to himself. So what this means is he can wipe everything that he has on him, assuming he's not stunned or something and he can't act. Get rid of all the negative status effects, then he applies Mechanical Hater to himself. So if the target is mechanical, he'll do triple damage, which is really kind of good. Now, he also gives a turn to himself so he can do this and then immediately act. He could do it at the beginning of a fight. I mean, he could decide, like this one right here. Maybe the entire other team is mechanical. So he can just start with this, do this, and then do big damage. Maybe end the fight really quickly, maybe on the type really quickly. Of course, that big massive hit would also be great if there was one mechanical individual, say there was like a Tankirion or there was a Timirion or something like that, that big hit that I didn't take. You do this and he goes, boom, dead, like that. Just like that, boom, dead. Especially if you put strength on him, which I'm thinking of, but you know what? The thing about it is his tools make him interesting, you know? His tools make him kind of interesting. So let's go back and let's talk about this for a minute. All right, he has a good strength. He's got an okay speed. Speed's not so bad. It's above normal. It's above normal. Here's the question. He doesn't really have denial type speed. I mean, you could just pour speed onto him to crank him up, but he's never going to reach the same kind of speed as somebody who's naturally fast. But, I mean, you probably want to put some speed on him. The question is what you want to do with him, you know? A lot of what he does do damage, but it's like moderate damage attacks because of what he's actually doing. He's putting total blind on. He's putting bleeding on. He's doing a single target total blind in my case. And then, of course, if it's mechanical, then he kicks it up a notch, right? With that mechanical hater, which is probably 3 turns. I didn't look at that. It's probably 3. Yeah, it's 3 turns. All right, so it's 3 turns. So he can do a lot of damage to mechanical individuals. So the thing about it is that, yeah, strength and maybe 2 speeds. I'm starting to think that maybe I equip him in the same way I do like Alex Cole. Is that make it so he's faster than normal, but also make sure he can do a little bit extra damage. That's kind of what I'm thinking. There could be variations of that. I mean, you might want to, maybe you put a support one on. You put like a damage, you put a speed, maybe put a support of some kind. Maybe you can put a health on him so he can stay alive for a long period of time. Although, he doesn't really feed into that. You want to do that with guys who can self-heal or just are kind of tanky or something like that. I am leaning towards either 1 damage and 2 speeds or 2 damages and 1 speed. I guess I would really have to play with it to see. But, you know, you remember, he is going to be a mechanical killer, but then he has to be able to act as well. I mean, you could put all damage on him and say rely on like a demise to let him go, or you know, a cloud or something like that, to give him the extra turn and just go right now with double damage, that kind of thing. Of course, then he wouldn't be able to put the mechanical hater on himself for that. But anyway, he is very, very good. I have been waiting a while to get him, and I am so happy that he showed up with open ruin slots. It makes it so that as soon as he is tested, I can start working on him immediately. And he's going to be teaming up with Talani and Bojack fairly soon, maybe later in the week. Of course, I'm not going to be able to do those wonderful swaps anymore, so I have to make sure, right? But anyway, this is Scrap Warrior, and he's pretty darn good. I'll have to come up with a name with him, and I'm sure I'll get suggestions. I will be open to suggestions. Not Santa Claus, though. Definitely not Santa Claus. Anyway, thank you very much for your attention. I really appreciate it. And play games, because games are fun. See ya.